All right, and it's fucking live. Take a look at that shit. That gives it like, ooh, that's a 30-second delay. I didn't know about that. That means that I could bleep myself out if I was saying things like Baba Booey or Howard Stern's penis. So, I'm gonna wait for the. I'm gonna wait for everything to smooth out. I'm gonna have a little rest of my coffee here. Oh my fucking word! I am beat. It's 7 o'clock. Not ready to rock. Mm. Evening coffee. It's probably not the terribly best idea, but I only had one cup of coffee this morning. I'm running on 3 hours of sleep. And I ran somewhere in the ballpark of 9 miles today. Took me like, I lifted to about 3 hours. Which actually means I was moving on average about 3 miles an hour. Well, you were hop jogging. I mean, really. And I had to walk certain sections. Maybe it was more than that. I mean, let's see, it's 3.7 miles to the thing. Oh, well, you're forgetting the time that it takes you to set up and take down the stupid hammock. Sorry, my brain is a little bit messed up. I think some of my, if you want to know where all my electrolytes went, you can literally see it's higher up on me than but you can literally see the freaking, my shirt was bloody soaked, and for some reason it's a little bit chilly, even for North Carolina. We had a kind of a cold front move in. I know the Northeast got affected way more. I was told they were going to have like a foot of snow or some shit like that. In North Carolina, it just kind of makes things at like the 50 high 50s, low 60s. But either way, I recently, shaved the whole, decided to give myself a feeling of being human, although I still can't get my hair cut. And like, oh my God, I'm looking at the fucking turkey waddle on my fat ass. Getting fat from sitting around and drinking beers. Not going to the goddamn gym. So I decided to try to take matters in my own hands, and I decided to, instead of just hiking to the usual location where I read a book, I decided to run. Boogered the book up a little bit, my backpack, but like, fuck it, it's a soft back, it don't matter. None of this, it don't matter, none of this matters. I'm surprised the stream quality isn't fucked to shit. I mean, right now it says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming, but it's probably lying. We got Green Liam in here. He says, what's up, TKE? Nothing much. I'm just here to kill an hour or two. Or more. I don't really know. I finished pretty much everything I was supposed to finish for today. Part of me almost wants to go run some more miles, but I know that that's not a good idea. Nah, probably not. I mean, my legs are kind of tired, but... And Haven's in. She says, holy shaven Batman. This indicates that I am Batman, which I'm okay with. I would be the Dark Knight. If I were any of the superheroes, I'd be that or Spider-Man. Thought about going to the gym once, like, ironically, in, like, a little Spider-Man, shirt or a hoodie or something like that. And, no, I don't think that would work out. I feel like everyone would laugh at my fat ass trying to scramble up a 5'9". Stephen Knight says, what's up, y'all? We live. We are indeed live. We are here live. By the way, to answer your question, no, I haven't beaten because you hit me up on Facebook and I forgot to get back to you. I have not. I've been really busy. Haven't been playing the video. I got hung up on Red Dead Redemption 2 on the level where you have to practice usury. Dead serious. The whole, like, beating a Polish immigrant for his, for the money that he owes you. I'm just like, oh, this is kind of sad. And then I just... I don't know, man. It fucked me up a little bit. Like, I was actually, I was a little drunk, and I was playing it, and then also there was a point where, just after that, I got back, and I'm just like, okay, well, we're done with that mission, so we don't have to be a useless bastard anymore. And then my favorite fucking horse, Kerr, saddled her up and everything, and I brushed her coat, and I went to go take a ride out to town or whatever the fuck, and all the O'Driscolls were waiting for me. Some? You might not know. All. Like, it was 17 of them, and they cut my horse down, and my character respawned, but your horse doesn't. And I was just, at that point, I didn't even rage quit. I was just, we're done. I think we're done here, and I just haven't had time to pick it up. I'm also trying to kind of race to the end of Final Fantasy VII because I do kind of owe somebody a review, and my thoughts have changed on it dramatically since I first started playing, so I kind of want to actually give it a fair shake, which means I have to kind of go back and rewrite scripts and re-record things and cry into my soup. Matthew White says, coffee, not alcohol. Use some kind of pansy or something? Oh, yeah. Ahmad says, "Sup Tolstoy? What's good? What's good?" Steven Knight says, have you seen the Xbox and PS5 gameplay first look? Yeah, whatever that thing is by, I forget. I don't know what company it is. I don't know what company it is, but company. Unique New York. Sue Studio. I'm not sure what company it is. It looks like they're just making another Lara Croft game. I feel so bad, but, my first thought was like, oh, good, another empowered female game. Oh, my fuck! I just... I know, and it's an original game, so it's not like they, pulled a Naughty Dog and, switched out characters on us. It's their fucking game. But, I mean, okay, wait, weird tribal settings, climbing mechanics... Weird tribal-looking girl who also has, some kind of, what looks like a little bit of technological power. Yeah, we already had that, man. It was last gen, and it was called Horizon Zero Dawn. And to be honest, it was actually a really fucking good. My brother played it. I didn't play it. I just watched him play it. The story to it is actually really decent, and Lance Reddick is in it. Lance Reddick, the guy from The Wire. So, long story short. Do we need another one of those? And can we just get a sequel to it? I don't know that I need to play another. No, I don't know if we need another one, man. I think we got it. We're good. Ahmad says, have you heard of Dax Flame? He used to be an OG YouTuber like you. I've never heard of Dax Flame. I would look it up on my phone, but my phone is actually charging. As I said, I was out running all day. And my only solution to the phone, man, is with I have a set of Bluetooths or whatever. I literally just grip the phone. If the phone goes flying, shit happens. I don't know. Steven Knight says, laugh my ass off. Red Dead Redemption has a bunch of disturbing side missions, bro. From cannibals to time-traveling deities to old creepy rapists and Frankenstein robots. I'm going to hope that none of those are true. I'm going to hope you're fucking with me. 8Man says, it's just a tech demo. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's just a tech demo. I'm sure that this won't turn into... I'm sure that they're just not going to make... I don't know. Whatever. I saw it, and, the canyon looked cool, and all of that looked cool, and it's just... I don't know. I saw this character, and I'm like, oh, good. Another... a Lara Croft ripoff. You know the problem with Lara Croft? So these remakes that they made of her, where they changed the way that she looked for the better, so they, didn't give her the fucking howitzers for tits, and they actually gave the bitch pants so that she can actually go, adventuring, in colder environment. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool, but she's just bland. She's a Mary Sue. She's not even offensive. She's not anti-male like, other examples of that trope. She's just still bland, though. In the first one, there was a little bit of a struggle before she turned into John Rambo, but it was a little bit of a struggle before she turned into John Rambo. Then by the second one, there's just fucking bland. I really liked the setting and the story too. Oh, and also I forgot the gameplay in the second one was ass. It was way too easy. I literally just started one-hitting everybody with revolver, and I was like, oh, so this is the only tool you need in this game. What do you know? And then by the third one, everyone literally said that she's just this milquetoast character. She's just... I mean, I know it's terrible to say because she predates Nathan Drake, but essentially everyone's like, oh, you're just Boob Raider. Yeah, so first it was Tomb Raider. Then Drake came out and he was Dude Raider. But now she's Boob Raider because it's just kind of come full circle. And it's just, she's milquetoast. So I see this new character and all I can think is oh, good, another Mary Sue. At best, she'll just be boring. At worst, she'll do some of that. Gotta get that snap going on. I don't know where that meme doesn't really exist anymore of the sassy snap, but that's that's my boomer mind trying to communicate the concept of, the what I see these days, you know what I mean? Ahmad says, by the way, do you have any YouTubers that you still follow since you started YouTube? Yeah, fucking hey. Lindy Beige, who is great. He hasn't been putting out as much content, or YouTube has been stopping me from seeing that content. Used to watch a lot of Lindy Beige. I miss Matt Pat. I haven't seen a game theory or a film theory in quite some time. I don't know what happened to him. I'm sure he's still out there. You know how the algorithm be. But But that he's a big-time guy. Small-time guys. There was a cool YouTuber that I really liked for ASMR purposes, and he was autistic, and I'm still subscribed to him on the channel. Marcus Parsons. You can literally see the last video I think he did was like back in like 2010. And Marcus, we miss you. I actually have him on Facebook. I don't know why he added a rando, because it seems like he left the YouTube life behind, and I hit him up once, and he never responded. I was like, gonna make more of them YouTube videos? And he just never, you know. Coffee. Ultimate X James says, there's a UFO outside Tolstoy's house. All right, bring it on. Look at this, you freaking aliens. Stephen Knight says, I would steal someone's horse, go to the railroad, hidden treasure, $1,100, then buy a fast, nice horse from Valentine, bro. And no, I'm dead ass serious. The side missions are insane, lol. Oh yeah, the vampire side mission is probably my favorite. God damn it. Okay. No, man. I have the money for a fast horse, but I started off with Kerr. I intend to finish the game with Kerr. I have all 4 trust rankings. I even take the fucking saddle off when I camp. I'm not even sure that does. I'm pretty sure that doesn't do anything. I'm sure that doesn't give a stat bonus in the slightest. But I mean, like, it's my horse, man. I fucking started the game with Kerr. We're gonna fucking finish it, and those pieces of shit shot my fucking horse. Now it's on. Like, now, you know, before I was kind of like, are the O'Driscolls so different than us? And now I'm just like, oh, fucking O'Driscoll genocide. Here we go. Twin Failing says, isn't it funny how people just realized Waco was a thing and you randomly screamed about it on a stream? Lol. Hell yeah. And I watched that fucking shit. I watched that documentary or that dramamentary, whatever the fuck. And I'm just, I mean, that, oh my God, you know, that gets me right in the boog, the boog guts, boog. That gets my right tingly in the boog balls. Well, anyway. Richard Righteous says, First Blood is a great film. Don't push it. I'll give you a war you won't believe. Fucking First Blood. I know that it's based off of actually a novel about a Vietnam vet who survives because he has a psychic link to a World War II vet who's older and wiser and gives him some kind of like weird psychic codec calls. I'm dead serious. Look this shit the fuck up. That's actually true. Oh man, I caught up with all the comments. That usually does not happen. Then again, the stream is unusually depopulated. Usually more people are coming to see my fabulous ass. And, oh, yeah, I was going to say, yeah, the stream is actually in good health. So I'm wondering if it's just YouTube can't handle that many people coming in all at once, which I can't even imagine why. They offer this as an option. They can't fix it or set it up. I'm cleaning my microphone. My neighbors and their screechy child. Get that shit the fuck out of here. Every day it leaves the apartment going... Fuck. Want my goddamn peace and quiet back. Can you hear that? Because I can hear it through the... Or maybe I'm hearing it through this. And I don't know. Oh, yeah. This is not something I should... don't have enough room to deploy it. Ooh, let's see if there's some ASMR in the Creighton handle. I think I found it. Hell yeah. Katana ASMR. Achievement unlocked. Oh, fuck. My fucking thing's up? I desperately need to clean my fucking room up. This shit looks fucking terrible. I will get to that as soon as my life quits being shit. Soldier Side System... every fucking time I fall for it. I forget it. I'm going to have to start marking his name. Kane the Warlock's in, and he says, the Unreal 5 tech demo was just a demo, though it did make me want a new Prince of Persia. Epic Games are busy with Fortnite 2 and running a bad storefront. Wow, that sucks. Yeah, Prince of Persia would actually be dope. And that I can see how that exhibition that we saw would really fit into it. But as you said, they have the the rights to Fortnite, and the kids, everything's got to be Fortnite now. Once one person has success, everyone else has to just blatantly rip that thing off until it's dead. I didn't know. Steven Knight says, did you see that Prince of Persia game that was never released? Well, okay. So the Prince of Persia games, the remakes anyway, I'm not talking about going all the way back to the OG original Commodore 64. I was too young. You got the first one, Prince of Persia Sands of Time. I don't know why I'm talking like it's a Gundam now. I should probably fucking stop before I get stuck. So you had Prince Persia, yeah. I'm gonna go Super Saiyan in a minute. Prince of Persia Sands of Time. Then you had Warrior Within, which got all crispy emo, which, by the way, I don't really give it. Thought that was kind of cool, actually. And then number 3, which kind of compound the feeling of the two, was decent. And then they made that remake where he's all like super stylized, and it looks like he's gonna start. I mean, like in number 2, he was emo, but it was just he was like Dark the Rock emo. He was more like some kind of like WWE Undertaker shit. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't expect his ass to start singing My Chemical Romance. Then in that weird cel-shaded one, that's some My Chemical Romance gargling shit. And then they actually made a cool throwback to the original style for the PlayStation 3 called, I have it, actually. By that time, the gameplay was kind of old and outdated. I didn't like it as much. And I never finished it. So there's that. But, yeah, maybe if they would go back and redo the original trilogy, that'd be kind of cool. Twin Phalanx says, you mentioned you liked Far Cry. Have you played 5? And if so, what do you think about New Dawn? New Dawn, I haven't played. That's not how a nuclear holocaust would ever end. I don't understand. 0 to 10. But, yeah, Far Cry 5 was legit. I actually wrote a script for a review that I wanted to do of it because I liked it so much. But I liked it more for the setting and the story. They tweaked the gameplay and for some reason made it easy. And I know why hunting kind of got the whole crafting system was removed. I get why. It would not have fit in with the American setting. At least they did give you a fishing minigame. Yeah, Far Cry 5 is fucking solid. Actually, I'm glad that it's the highest selling one, but I don't know if it's my favorite. My favorite might stay number 4, but then again, I recently went, oh my Jesus, my brain is moving faster than my mouth can move, which is surprising. I recently went back and tried to replay number 4, and I don't think I like it as much. The difficulty is good. It's higher than number 5. But, I don't know. Maybe I moved on from the setting. And I love the Himalayas, but, Far Cry 5 was a little bit... I mean, I've been to Montana. I actually had a relative who owned a business in Butte. It's gone now, obviously. The economy is shit. Always has been. Has its shit. But good thing that we closed everything down and caused... suicide rates to spike, and substance abuse to spike, and domestic abuse to spike, so that we could, stop a virus that has a 0.05% kill rate, and it's all a bunch of old people who, I mean, let's face it, Richard Righteous says, have you ever grown a beard? Do you watch my channel at all? Click on the... Go to my channel, and you can see all the previous streams where I have, like, a raging neckbeard and a bottle of either rice wine or IPA in my hands. Steven Knight says, Prince of Persia was better than Assassin's Creed. I'm not sure I can say that. The Assassin's Creed story was, at least through number 1 and number 2. I played a little bit into number 3, and then I just stopped playing, and I don't know if they've just disregarded the whole there's aliens thing. Like, are we still rolling with that? Like, they've made so many goddamn spinoffs, and at this point, I'm starting to wonder, in these spinoffs, do you still play what's-his-face? Desmond? I mean, so he has ancestors in everywhere? Or did they just stop giving a shit about the subplot with the modern-day Templars, and I think it was called Abstergo? Did they just, like, dump all that shit, and then now it's just adventures in history, which is fine. If they could actually portray history correctly, and usually they don't. Do. Soldier Side says, oh, I fucked up again. God damn it. Super Giggity 777 says, "Hey Tolstoy, I've been a fan of you since the Kershaw Review years ago. I've been waiting to get into reading more. Are there any books that you would consider a must-read?" The books that I read... the crappy Japanese when you try to plus... Oh, yeah. Well, the books that I read usually are heavy with autism. So unless you really like poli-sci and or history, you will probably not like the stupid shit that I read. I've wanted to go over and make a video of the books that I've read recently, because I haven't really talked about them a lot, and some are good, some are bad. Yeah, it depends on how much you're into poli-sci and history, or ecology. Right now, I'm currently going through a book called Blood and Thunder, which is absolutely, I can't put it down. And but of course, it's, I don't even know how to describe it. It's the history of a particular time around the West, before the Civil War and before it became completely conquered in like the 1840s. And it was literally just it was like Stalker. It was a no-go zone that was swarming with, I'm not trying to be, I'm just saying, like, you know, the hostiles of the area instead of mutants are native tribes, you know, no disrespect. Swarming with native tribes and various political factions representing different governments and different corporate interests. So you'd have like fucking, you know, freelance Canadian fur trappers, and then there'd be the Hampton Bay Company, and then there'd be like some fucking cowpaths or some Pimas. And some fucking, you know what I mean? And then you had, like, the West Army riding through Santa Fe. And, like, this dude apparently who wrote it, I forget his name, I'm going to have to learn it. He, both John Krakauer and him worked together on Outside Magazine. I guess I have to get Outside Magazine now? Is it, because this guy's writing. I mean, he gets a little verbose at times. And I don't like that, because it's kind of, well, anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna do that justice by doing like a full-blown review of it at some point. Stephen Knight says, they had one that takes place after Two Thrones, and it looked sick as fuck. There is gameplay of it on YouTube, but it was never completed. Huh, well, I'll take a look into that shit. What was the one that I'm talking about? It was like right at, you know, it looked like they tried to go back to, you know, the art style of the first three after, you know, fucking My Chemical Romance version. You know the one I'm talking about with the fucking bandana? It covers up one eye. He looks like fucking Kakashi or some shit like that. Is that the Kakashi? Is that the ninja guy? Yeah, I'm right. I always get that confused with... What's that company that produces like health food? Like Kakashi? I think it's still Kakashi. Kazlab says, how's it going? Kazlab, it's okay. I'm chugging my way to the end of FF7 because I want to actually bring a good review of it. And I took your advice. I moved it to easy for a little bit, and then I moved it back up to normal. And man, what an amazing goddamn feature that Sekiro could have used, you know? Like a button that you can press that's like, hey man, I have a job, except for, well, we're quarantined, but you know what I fucking mean. Like I'm an adult and I have shit I gotta fucking do today. Click, and then you can basically just, you know, get past this bullshit boss and then go do your, you know, go turn it back off if you fucking want. Like, what a great feature. Coffee actually is okay cold. I like iced coffee. Stephen Knight says, Warrior Within was when he became savage. Yeah, and that was the one with, like, it had such a weird, articulate fighting system. You could do a lot of shit in that system, but it was also confusing, and I can't remember if it was reviewed popularly or not. Not the entire game, just the combat system. Kane says, though, because of Fortnite, they changed their royalties thing, where their first $1 million are you, then you start paying royalties or something like that. What? Kazlab says, is there a date yet for Phase 2? Yeah, no. It's not dated. I'm fucked. I've legitimately just given up. I don't know. Right now I'm going to focus on losing all the weight that I gained. You can even see it in my face. Like, I went back and rewatched some of my older videos. Well, it was before I started weightlifting too, so I also had less muscle. But I definitely had less fat, and I looked better. Not that fucking matters, but this is not good to have, like, a nice big fat wine gut. That's not what I really want. So I guess from now I'm just going to try to focus a shit ton on cardio and trying to cut down in the hopes that maybe I'll look super cool when Phase 2. They said that Phase 2 will come around. Never. I mean, when certain parameters are met, like when our numbers drop beneath a certain blah, blah, blah. So, in essence, no. I heard that there might be another stimulus check. Yeah, there better be. Like, that... They better print "Please Don't Boog" on the fucking check. I can tell you that much. Willem Dafoe's fruitcake is in. He says, hey. Stephen Knight, everything jumped. Everything jumped. No. Says, everything jumped. Go higher. Bring me a higher low. Stephen Knight says, that colorful Prince of Persia was gay as fuck. I couldn't stand it. Bad art choice with the cell shade bullshit. And then that brings up the question is, how do you feel about the cell shading that they did with, what was that Zelda game? And, like, everyone immediately saw it and went, it wasn't Wind Waker. It was actually one of the best games they've ever done. It was just, we were expecting a grittier Zelda. They did a bait and switch, because at E3, they showed, like, this gritty Zelda that, you know, would eventually become the basis for Twilight Princess, and then instead we get this art style, which I later on came to admire. You know, it grew on me. And honestly, if you're going to enjoy the art style of a cartoonish Zelda, then Minish Cap. Fuck all y'all. Minish Cap was the shit. And for once, it didn't involve Ganon. Jesus Christ, Ganon is worse than... Who's the guy from the Harry Potter series? He comes back every single fucking book. Like, Jesus, as soon as you notice something is wrong, why don't these kids go, oh, look, my pencil's... It's probably Voldemort. Oh, my God, because every fucking time it's fucking Voldemort. Jason Fire95 says, hey, TKE, ever play classic Doom? If you do, there's a re-release of Doom 64 on Steam. Doom 64 was, like, the worst of them. Like, wasn't the best Doom actually for, I'm going to say, the Atari Jaguar, if it was console? I played the original Doom. I'm okay. I played that on and off, like, not super serial about it. I usually get through, like, the first one pretty well, and then I've played the second one, like, I think it's called Shores of Hell, or that was, like, the second installment of the first game. I don't know. It's never really... I was thinking about this afternoon because I was listening to some music while I was running, and my thingy queued up the Turok 2 Ports of Arcadia orchestrated, piece of the soundtrack, and I realized that, like, everyone has, like, their first, everyone who's in the, 90s gamer OG status has, like, their first over-the-top violent shooter that, really attracted them, that really, like, they cut their teeth on as a gamer. You know what, but though, what about that GoldenEye? Yeah, GoldenEye, in my mind, does predate Turok. But GoldenEye's not as over-the-top and it's not fucking, demons and fucking blood and rip. So, like, there's three camps. There's the Doom kids. And it's like, it's like Coke, Pepsi, and RC Cola. You know what I'm saying? Here I am with my RC going, easy on the gas, easy on the syrup, boys. You know what I mean? Fucking Doom, Quake, I am Turok! So, for me, it was fucking Turok, man. Turok 2, when I was like 8 years old on the N64, with the fucking dinosaurs going, when you shot them in the head and shit. I actually tried to do a live stream of me playing, they made a remake of that, that they released on Steam, and it's great. It was great. I hadn't played that kind of style of you can have 100 guns in your weapon wheel, fast-paced, everything's jumping out at you, it's a shooting gallery. I have not had that much fun in a shooter in such a long time. And I tried to live stream it, but I can't, because I think either my computer's a potato, or YouTube is a potato, or I'm a potato. There are three options here. Ultimate X James says, aliens are just people the same as us. Are you suggesting, like, that they're from the future and they've come back to dick with us? Like, what is your thesis here, Mr. X James? You need to expound upon that concept. Matthew Borkowski says, the prince could be a Fortnite skin an Assassin's Creed dance, that a total no-go for me, dude. Yeah, man, I hear you. Yeah. Kazlab208 says, did you ever play the original Far Cry? Crytek ported it to the original Xbox. I did. I played that on the PlayStation Network, and I finished it, and that game was actually kind of difficult near the end. Really difficult, actually. But I will admit, the main character, who's a total weird, doofus, but like that whole khakis with like, the red, floral Havana shirt or whatever. I did that for a while. That was my style. And bitches love that. I'm just kidding. Bitches didn't give a shit about that. They go, ew. Although I think I was wearing that when I went to it was a Red Robin, and I was with Zach and Mexican Mike, and maybe it was because I had a beer. I think it was. It was like back when I first started, like, kind of going out with the boys and drinking. And I was like 22. That was like my first taste of like freedom and being a young man. And the waitress was like, "Can I bring you anything else?" And like, it was so fucking uncharacteristic of me. And I just went, "Yeah, your number." And she was like, "Are you for real?" And I looked at her like dead in the eyes and I was like, "Yeah." And she did. And it turned out it was her number. And I left like a million messages like a fucking beta because I didn't understand that women will give you their number to make you fucking go away and then just not answer the phone when it's you. But I was 22, and we applied the Tolstoy rule, which is like -6 from my age, because I'm always like 6 years behind. So like right now, I'm just like 26. Or I guess actually it would be 27. 27. Actually, this hoodie is super cozy, but I'm wearing shorts underneath this. It was good when I was running, but now why is it cold, man? It's May. Ain't we got some global warming? Stephen Knight says, y'all remember when you had superpowers in Far Cry 2? No. I never played. Okay, so of all the Far Crys, I never played. I tried Far Cry 2 so many times. It was too fucking brutal. And this is from somebody who loves fucking Stalker, but like, Christ, man, it was a massive game, and like your car always fucking broke down, and your gun's always jammed, and then you ended up walking the fuck home every fucking time. The other thing is that it was kind of an ugly game. There are patches. They kind of just did this like super brown shade that they put over top of it, because it's like a meme. I've been seeing that a lot again recently, where it's like in American movies, every time they're in Mexico, the way that you show Mexico is you just give it an orange filter. If you're in Eastern Europe, the way that they show that you're in Eastern Europe is you give it a gray filter. Like, okay, so I guess they were in Africa, and they were just like, they were in Sudan, you know what I mean? And they're like, the game developers at Ubisoft were like, yeah, man, brown filter. There are, because if you can get it on the PC and you can get it to work on your PC, there are patches that you can get where, like, the color is just 100% fixed and they, like, return the saturation. I'm like, yeah, you don't know that if, like, yes, even in Africa, trees are green, actually, not brown. And it makes the game look 100% better, but I don't have the skills to do, like, patches or whatever the fuck. Whatever you call them, mods. Like, I don't know how to fucking do that. If I did, and I had the computer to do it, I would do Stalker, Call of Chernobyl? Yeah, that, like, the whole works. I'd fucking do that. I kept trying to go back to Far Cry 2, because you would think it's, like, the game that I would love the most, and, why do I always keep... Oh, you know what? And it's like your fucking map, you can't reference the map without... You don't have a HUD. He brings up the fucking map. It's interesting you see, like, the development of the Far Cry series, because it's like, the first Far Cry, too wacky. The second Far Cry, too fucking realistic and hard. And then, like, by the third Far Cry, that's the one where, like, they kind of fixed it, and it was like, okay, it's kind of a video game, but it's also kind of realistic, and I think that was their good balance. If I was more of a G, I would try to go back and do Far Cry 2. I've even known people who did, like, perma-death runs. Fuck. But I ain't. Twin Failing says, I picked up New Dawn for $20, and it's not that bad. The map is much smaller. What happened to Rook is rough, though. It's a worthwhile game to play for $20, but 5 is certainly superior. When I think Far Cry, I didn't like Blood Dragon either. I get that that's their tradition, that they do, like, a wacky game for every, like, one serious game that they do. Cool. I just don't personally buy it. And I think also Blood Dragon was actually, wasn't that also a financial failure? I love the fact that you guys meme. Cool. But I mean, to answer your question, Kazlab, no. I'm not even going to read it. Jesus, I'm trying so hard. They're on hiring freezes. Richard Righteous says, no, I mean a big beard, lol. Ahmad says, this is a random question. So, from where I live, we don't have meatloaf. In movies, they depict the dish tasting horrible. Just curious, No, meatloaf is like one of the greatest things that ever happened. Where are you at where they don't do meatloaf? No, man. Imagine a meat cake. And, okay, Here's what you got to do. I want you to make me... Now, I'm not a chef, so you're going to have to consult a chef. I'm pretty sure all you need to do... Pretty sure is just get ground beef and put eggs in it and then mix it up and then make a kind of a cake out of it and then bake it. I think that's all you have to do. But, wait, there's more. You got to put, what vegetable is like the one that's like, is it spinach? Yeah, you got to put some spinach in that motherfucker. Then, if you really want to be top, you got to make a sandwich with mayonnaise, cheese, and onions. And that's a meatloaf sandwich. Fuck, now you made me want to make meatloaf. Yeah, but man, you can't cook. Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot. Steven Knight says, laugh my ass off, man. I stopped playing Assassin's Creed at 3, bro. I just got tired of spending $60 for the same game over and over. Look, man, you know that I, like, love, you know, that setting of, like, you know, the Founding Fathers and, like, early American history. It was the lack of polish. Like, so they have this AAA title, and like you said, 60 fucking bucks. And it's like, so you change your outfit, and then when you go into the cutscenes, which aren't even pre-rendered, he's just wearing the normal suit again. And I'm like, oh, so you assholes just didn't give a fuck. You just wanted to charge full for a game that was like half finish. And that's about the point. Also, the weird gun / also melee kind of confused me. I don't know. And then I just sort of spun off. It didn't stick. Sukabliet says, if I get enough money for my birthday, I'm probably going to get a Taurus PT92 with pearl grips like Sam from Supernatural. Hey, Taurus has a horrible track record. You do know that they have quality assurance issues. They're made in Taiwan. Is this what you really want to do? There are such better sound. What is it? What's a Chamberlain? And I'll just give you the better gun. It sounds like you want to get a gun because it's from that movie, that show that you like. Is that wise? They're not a terrible gun company, but they've had problems. Like some of their, I think the Taurus Judge and some of their like their revolver models recently. But then again, that also happened to. There was some spitting issues with the reissue from 2019 of my revolver. So, you know, whatever, you do you. And also pearl grips. Doesn't. King of the Warlock says, I think Desmond died or something, and each new game has a new character. I don't know. I'm guessing from what I've seen. So did they ever answer the question? It's like fucking the second one ends with like aliens talking to you via the Pope or some shit. And then they're just like, we're never gonna answer that shit. And I'm like, oh, okay, fuck you then. That's worse than the ending of Lost. ISA says, I'm into nanomachines. Okay. Well, then you're going to end up as a meat puppet for the globalists. Yeah, you enjoy that shit. You go ahead and you do that. I'm not going to fucking do that shit. Jason Fire 95 says, oh, and movie talk, what is the worst performance of Hayden Christensen, not counting Star Wars 2 and 3? Mine is Jumper. Wait, he was in other movies? I figured after Star Wars 2 and 3, he just stopped. I didn't know, and I've never seen Jumper. And everything's about to bump. Matthew Borkowski says, Assassin's Creed. I read that as the Armored Core games. I was like, all right, we're talking about fucking Armored Core. No. The Assassin's Creed games are all over the place, dude. Like, now it's Spartan shit with 3,000 memes everywhere. It would not upset me if they actually did their fucking research. You know? But it was the thing where it was the one that was set in Greece, and there's a dude who's like, yeah, man, fuck my wife. You know, cuckold me. It's okay. That's really in there. And I'm like, no, in ancient Greece, they would have never fucking done that. I think you should probably read the Iliad and then read the end and know that they weren't fucking down for that shit. Because the Greeks, though they were gay, were alpha as fuck. And when I say gay, I mean, like, literally, there were several cultures, including the Spartans, that were somehow, and I don't know how I reconcile this with my belief that you are born with your sexual preference. There's a little bug on my desk. You motherfucker. You little son of a bitch. Sorry. Filthy animal. That little piece of shit will get you, boy. The Spartans used to be essentially culturally gay, but sexually straight for the purposes of reproduction. So a Spartan wedding actually included shaving a woman's head, dressing her as a man, and then having the groom would have sex with her, but then afterwards he would go to have sex with dudes in order to, like, you know, get it out of his system. So he could be like, yeah, I'm having sex with dudes again. And that sounds however it sounds to you, but that being said, like, they were pretty badass as a civilization. Also, modern-day Greeks are also still pretty badass. Whether you know this or not, apparently they've been at There's that fucking bug again, you little shitbag. Get the fuck over here. They've been at war up with, like, randos in the area, including, like, Syria and shit like that, up until 1983. They were just doing, like, IRA-style fucking, border, North Korea, South Korea, demilitarized border shit. They're a little bit like Israel in that sense. So, hats off to them. But yes, I'm right around that time where I was like, oh, because I just didn't pay attention to them, only because, I wasn't... I just kind of felt with the Assassin's Creed games, and then I saw the clip of, like, Assassin's Creed Greek cuckold, and I was like, oh, and now you too, huh? Okay. Kazlab says, ever get subjected to Twilight? So I tried to watch the first Twilight movie, and I got to the point where he sparkles in the sunlight, and it broke me as a human being, and I changed the channel. It was back when I actually had cable. I didn't have cable. My parents had cable, and I watched that shit on the couch. Kane the Warlock says, gods also are real, but like all gods, Greek and now Norse from the looks of it. Oh, really? Okay. Kane, I think flipped. Oh, we got Pat in. Hey, Pat. Did you ever look into the legacy of Kane Dead Son? No, I've never fucking heard of that. Also, into Soul Reaver The Lost Worlds, it's looking into all the beta and cut elements of Soul Reaver. Oh, hell yeah. Is it so it's like a video I could, like, look up of this shit? Kazlab says, did you watch the 2012 film Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? I saw that shit with my girlfriend in theaters, man. It was actually pretty fucking dope. I'm okay with that. Stephen Knight says, the combat system was dope. There was this one combo where the prince would spin doing a handstand, breakdancing move, swinging his blade around. That was my bread and butter. I know what you're talking about, actually, because I remember that. Kazlab says, are you going to make any changes to your life after this COVID situation is over? I'm probably going to plan a vacation so I can forget about this COVID nightmare forever. No, man, I just want things to go back to the way that they were. And if they can't, then this is the end of the Tolstoy show, as well as my life. PKG96 says Voldemort. Stephen Knight says, I think that is Windbreaker you're thinking of, bro. The cartoon-looking Zelda. It wasn't Windbreaker. It was called Wind Waker. Oh, you must have a thing that auto-corrected. Windbreaker. It's just Zelda and, like, a little, like, zip-up. And yeah, it apparently the art style turned a lot of people off. Orange Elite 2552 says, Wind Waker, Minish Cap, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks use the Toon Link design. Okay, but yeah, the only good one of that was Minish Cap. And Minish Cap and, look, I didn't care for the DS titles. Touch screens are AIDS. Kane the Warlock says, did you know that Turok started as a comic in the 50s? Yep, 1959. And I've actually done extensive research into that because I actually think that was really cool, and I wish the IP would get invested in again. Either a movie, a new comic series, new video game. It's not hard. It failed in 2008 because you didn't follow the formula. Turok 2008 wasn't even fucking Turok. It was a ripoff of Gears of War with fucking dinosaurs, you dipshits. Kazlab says, so now that it's finally decided Trump versus Biden, who's going to win this? Oh, Trump. Are you high? Are you high? Do you have any doubt? I do not. We're going to see what happens after this. I'm not worried about who's going to win. I'm worried about the reaction when Orange Man wins again. Because last time we got some rioting. This time, we'll see. Orange Elite 2552 says, some people talk endless shit about GoldenEye compared to Perfect Dark, but I still think GoldenEye is better. Oh, no, you're wrong. Perfect Dark was way fucking cooler. Super sorry, man. Stephen Knight says, damn, now you got me wanting to watch I Am Beowulf. Is that what he says? And are you talking about that one with Angelina Jolie? It's probably a good film. I didn't see it. I don't know. That was around the time when they were, because that was around the time where they were doing shit like again, this goes back to, is it historical though? They were doing I never watched 300. I actually found out that 300 wasn't terribly historically inaccurate. But it was just like, they were marketing it to bros, and I knew that they were going to fuck it up. I guess maybe they didn't. That's, it's fine. I just drew it myself. But, so I don't know, did the Beowulf thing actually follow the book, or is there a chapter where, is there a scene where Beowulf gets a fucking jetpack? Because I know how Hollywood do. They can't not put their penises in it. If they see it, they're like, they do a Weinstein special, they go, diddly. And they decide that they've got to change it, or some shit like that. Jason Fire 95 says, ever seen the trailers of Turok Evolution, a prequel to Turok 1 Dinosaur Hunter that failed critically and financially? What do you mean seen the trailers? I played the game. That was like the third game I got from my little purple lunchbox. And yes, it was horrible, but I slogged through that shit. That is how I know that you know what I mean? It's like when people see me complaining on Facebook or social media or YouTube about the difficulty of a game like Sekiro or some shit like that. Yeah, it's because when I was a kid and I didn't have any fucking money and I couldn't afford to choose what kind of games I could get. I could only afford garbage games or, God bless them if the game had just sold so well that it came down in price. Like I remember getting, Resident Evil 4 for Christmas because it was $20, and that was a lot back then. So when you walk into a game slut and you see Turok for $9.99, you pick that shit up. And when you find out that it's utter garbage, you keep a stiff fucking upper lip because you are 14, 15 years old, and your ass is not getting another game. You ain't getting another $10 from your grandma. So you better enjoy that fucking shit. And, yeah, so, and it's like, now as an adult, it's like, I don't got time for that shit. Like, my money is good, I worked for my money. My Grammy didn't give it to me, I didn't do chores for this shit, So, when I buy a game and it goes like, well, the hit detection is, just get good, scrub, I take that fucking disc out and I go, no, get fucked, I'll never buy another one of your games, whee, and just throw that fucking shit into the woods. CatLab says, shit, was that the waitress that gave you her number, at least good looking, or was she a 6? Oh, no, she was like an 8. She was an 8. That's back before I understood. I'll reel that in. I'll say a 7, but that's before I understood the hypergamy chart. Just look up hypergamy chart and you'll understand how shit works. I was super confused for the first half of my life because I was just like, I don't understand. These girls who are obviously in my league don't understand that they're in my league. Now in the second half of my life, I'm like, oh, they're coke heads. I mean, essentially, they're all just doing lines of fempowerment going like, I'm gonna get Chad. And it's like, no, you won't. I mean, maybe if Chad is drunk and he wants a slam peg and it's a slow night, but then you're a slam pig. So don't cry in the morning when he dumps your ass off and goes hunting for better pussy like that. That's how dark life is. Like, what do you want me to say? And I came to the conclusion that, in that regard, a lot of men like me are just fucked. And you can have to sit around and cry about it. This is Shawshank Prison. You either get busy living or get busy dying. Here's the issue. I tried to get busy living, and I tried to walk away from the situation. I was not accepted into my society, so I said, there's this great westward expansion. I'll go out there and be a cowboy. And now Wells Fargo wants to come on in going, we're making a town and having laws, and we're bringing out all the whores you really don't like. And I'm like, no, I came all this way so I wouldn't have to. And they're like, don't care, partner. And it's like, yeah, fuck you. What's the phrase? Why did you make me do this? I only wanted to play video games. Yeah, can't even play that shit no more. Orange Elite 2552 says, love all the Far Cry games. Favorite Far Cry villain? I'm partial to Pagan Min. They're all equally good. You can't ask me which of my children I love the best. Kazlab says, do you still have Tiger Blood winning? No, I actually gave that to a good friend who's actually in this chat, appeared once in this chat, for their wedding. It's a selfish wedding gift because it has nothing to do with getting married, but I was Poe. There was I don't believe they asked for anything, or if they did, I'm a shitbag. They didn't get them anything, but I mean, I also don't, I'm a gangrel. You asked me to show up to a wedding. The fact that I washed my hair and showed the fuck up in a suit is, that's the best you're gonna get from me. But I had actually written it to her and her husband in my will back when I was thinking that I was running out of runway, and so I just decided when things started looking up, I was like, fuck it, just give it to him. And I was like, do you still need it? It's a sword, and actually I have a lot of things. This sword is actually promised to Zach. If I ever found that, please don't fall over. This the Dark Sentinel. That's promised to Zach, but I would have to send it to him, and I'm imagining that mailing that would cost a shit ton, and I'm not in a financial situation where I can just be spending money and shit. You know how that is. Stephen Knight says, my bad, I was thinking of the original Far Cry where the main character gets animal powers, strength, speed, agility, etc. I wish they would bring that back. The powers were cool. Oh, yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about. That was not the original Far Cry, truly original Far Cry. That was a weird spin-off that I think they did when they ported it to the Xbox. And it was called Far Cry Primal. No. Fuck me. Not Far Cry Primal. Far Cry Instincts. Far Cry Primal. That's the worst of them. I'm sorry, guys. You tried, man. Like, you know, and this is coming from me. I'm pretty fucking open-minded. Like, I'd like to see a shooter that takes place in the Civil War where it takes like 90 minutes to reload your musket. But my guy, fucking like, I want to play as a fucking caveman. Oh, no. No, I'm sorry. That sounds fucking awful. Yeah, Far Cry Instincts. So they did actually make a sequel to that. Or they ported it. No. They ported it to the Wii. That was such a weird spin-off. It's essentially just the first game redone, but instead of like coming to the island, I think you're like escaping from the island. Or some shit. I should go watch a video review of that. I'm trying to get my mind, you know, brush it back up. Kazlab says, did you ever watch the 2008 film Tropic Thunder? I did not. I'm not a fan of comedies, remember, except for, although I have to admit, I've been marathoning Parks and Rec. And I like to watch the bloopers. The fucking outtakes are funnier than the show, and there was one like line of them that had me just I was literally crying. I slept so fucking good that night. It was so good to laugh again. It's strange what actually will make me laugh. Usually it has to be morbid, but Parks and Rec is just goofy and sweet, and I like it for that. Kazlab then says, R.I.P. Jerry Stiller. Is Jerry Stiller dead? Patrick Senny says, good meatloaf also has onion seasoning and hard-boiled egg in the middle. Okay, wait, a hard-boiled egg, though? You had me until hard-boiled egg, though. I don't know about that. Orange Elite 2552 says, New Dawn has a bunch of characters from 5 return, plus it's cool seeing the same place 17 years later. Yeah, but that's not how that would work. Everything would still be so radioactive. It would have to be 200 years later. Like, I don't understand. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, I only had meatloaf once and I was 4. I've never had it since, but I remember enjoying it. I need to have it again. Where are all y'all that you don't have no meatloaf? Like, is that not a thing in, like, Europe or Asia? Okay, probably not in Asia. Stephen Knight says, bro, I had a meatloaf sandwich when I was 13, shaking my head. Texas toast, cheese, mayo, and onions. You get it. It has to be thick-ass fucking bread. Like, every time I watch that episode of King of the Hill where, like, Hank just wants to go to this one place that serves meatloaf sandwiches, but he finds someone there that he, like, can't stand, and they won't stop talking to him, and so he tries to find a way to stealth a meatloaf sandwich or some shit. He says, what happens in the first Assassin's Creed where they show Adam and Eve free-running on Earth as the first humans, and they say that they were the first assassins? Wait, that never happened. I'm sorry? You played a different game than I played. That's not how I remember that at fucking all. What I remember is, like, I don't know, they get to the end and you find out that, like, the pieces of Eden are alien technology. That's as far as I got. And then in number 2, they're like, oh yeah, and the aliens want to talk to you. And then in number 3, the aliens will talk to you. And then I, like, spun off and I'm just like, man, they've made 200 games since then. So did they move in with you? Are the aliens, like, good in bed? You guys got, like, a good sex life? Because, Jesus, they certainly wanted a relationship in the first game. Kazlab says, did you watch the Assassin's Creed movie starring Michael Fassbender? No. However, I did watch the CinemaSins version of that, and I cracked my shit up and this is a spoiler for that god-awful fucking movie, but it is interesting. This is a really interesting philosophical concept. They changed it. They're like, okay, the piece of Eden isn't like alien technology that can be used to manipulate people. I don't know why they needed to change that. Like I said, Hollywood always sticks their deck in it. Then diddly. And, they suggest that, like, the piece of Eden was like some kind of genetic information that they introduced into, primates that was the genetic information for free will. And then the CinemaSins guy just stops and he's like, wait, genetic information, free will. Genetic information, free will. And if you don't get the joke, we can't be friends. Like, fuck. And yeah, the whole situation. Kazlab then also says, hey, Patrick, how are you feeling about that COVID delayed most of the current anime seasons? COVID took our cartoons. They took our jabs. They took our jabs. They took our jabs. Sukabliat says, I have a Taurus G2C in 9mm, and it works just fine. The P292 is their copy of the Beretta 92, but I'm also considering a Rock Island Armory 1911. Go with the Rock Island. Just do it. Just do a 1911. Just take my word. Just do a 19. Just do it. Just do it. And Rock Island is a really good company. They're the people who produced my my AR that I sold to buy an AK of much lower value because Sukabliat. Patrick that says, I'm behind like 2 seasons because I'm retarded, so that kind of fits for me pretty well. Stephen Knight says, damn gay Spartans. They ain't covered that in 300, but I've always heard about like the Roman Greece and most European civilizations. Yeah, Rome and Greece had like a weird it was okay to be gay. It was so fucking weird. So in Rome and Greece, they had like this weird system whereby like if you want to be gay, it's cool. They had like no concept that like being gay was bad. They didn't look poorly upon it unless you were the dude. I mean, and there's no nice way to say this, unless you were the dude getting fucked. Like, which leads you to wonder, like, are you prison gay? I mean, are you raping dudes? Like, what are we doing? Like, I don't. It was considered honorable for a dude. It's okay if you wanted to like fuck another dude, but you have to be pitching, and if you're receiving, and I'm just like, but if we agree that you desire another dude, why isn't it not mutual? Why does the disrespect only go in one direction? I just don't fucking understand that. But there you go. Those are weird cultural concepts. I'm actually in Blood and Thunder, the book that I'm reading about, you know, the frontier and all that shit. There's a chapter that talks about peace treaties in between the new American government of New Mexico and the Navajo that they called to them for a peace treaty, and the Navajo just couldn't fucking understand because the general was just like, okay, do not attack New Mexican towns. And the Navajo guy's like, but they're the same people that we've been at war with. And he's like, nah, it's different. They're no longer Mexicans. They're now Americans. And the Navajo guy is talking to him was like, okay, wait a second. You rolled up into here and you rolled up and used force. That's essentially war. We've been at war with them. So it's both our same enemy. So why are you angry with us for attacking New Mexicans? And it's just like the general was like, oh my fucking God. Because they could not possibly grasp the concept that nationality would change, like, because it's the same fucking people. Which is, it's crazy. It just shows you kind of how culturally certain ideas don't translate well. Like, I was reading this book about people in the Amazon, mostly uncontacted tribes, and they eat their dead. And, like, I don't know, it was kind of seemed a little based that, you know, the dude was, like, a little bit horrified, and he's like, so why do you eat your grandparents? And they're like, well, because if we bury them, like, animals are going to eat them. Like, if someone's going to eat them, at least it should be you. Don't want fucking, you know, a fox to eat grandma. You should eat grandma. And I was like, that does make a lot of sense, actually. Like, but then again, I'm a little bit fucked up. Kane the Warlock says, Dead Sun was a canceled Legacy of Kain game. We don't know much outside of the video of a gameplay and a bit of story. Honestly, it's probably good that it all came to an end. I mean, live long enough to see yourself become the villain or die a hero, baby. Stephen Knight says, Legacy of Kain Dead Sun looked so fucking sick. Oh my God, I was pissed when they threw the project away. The gameplay is on YouTube. Check it out. I will fucking check it out. I'll look into that. I could probably get my phone and take a look at it. My phone's probably charged up a bit, so give me 1 second and I will look it up on your phone. Hup! Oh, my legs! Ugh. Whew. Fuck, that coffee ain't doing shit. I'm still wore the fuck out. And I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. Every time I try to do a home workout with weights, I end up dicking myself up because I don't have any of the proper equipment or any benches or anything to give me proper form. I mean, anything outside of just doing basic curls and push-ups, which, yeah, I could do, but it's like... Wait, what? Oh. Thought that was going to be a good message. It never fucking is. Do. Not you, Kane. I do see you. I'll hit you up in a minute or whatever. Okay, we're going to go to YouTube. We're going to type in... That title doesn't sound like a good Legacy of Kain game, though. Dark Sun! It sounds like... It sounds like the... I don't know, like those weird, like, edgy two-syllable titles they started doing. You know what I mean? Instead of, like, naming something cool. I don't know. Legacy of Kain... Dark... what? Well, why is it that when I type in Dark, the first two things are Prophecy and then Renaissance? And then Dark Chronicle? Was there, like, a... oh.
I was Khan of Seta. I had a wife.
Speed it up.
We were...
Oh, good. Commercials. If you play a second commercial, I'm hucking this phone against the wall.
Let me in. Let me show you how to fight. How to kill them.
Okay. Yeah, that does look... it looks okay. A little too dark. I mean, like, physically, that looks like I was saying about Far Cry 2. That looks like that was, like, being planned along the same time where all the games just had to be fucking dark. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, man. I mean, even the first game, though it was physically dark in tone, I mean, the visuals were still somewhat bright. Like, the character just looks like he's like Venom. Like, damn, son. Do. Kazlab says, I know Angry Joe made a 2-hour stream back in November 2016, and he was pissed. Can't wait to see part 2 in November. Yeah. Video Game 945 says, look better without the beard. Yeah, I'm aware of that, but it also takes me like 30 minutes to shave it off, and I'm lazy, man. Stephen Knight says, Beowulf was dope. It followed the main story, I believe. It just got a bad rep because it was kind of predictable, and he said, I am Beowulf like 100 times. Oh, God. So they did the same thing with Naruto. In the original Naruto, by the way, in the Japanese, them Chinese cartoons. In the original Japanese, he does not go around going, believe it! When I found out that they gave him like some weird catchphrase in English, I'm like, why would you do that? But as I said, it's not even Hollywood, but it's just they always gotta put their dick in it. No fucking matter what. Clive Winston says, and he says, my God, he's shaven. What a G. Yeah. Yep. Fucking only cut myself like 13 times, man. Video Gamer 945 says, never have I ever heard someone say the word slam pig out loud. Yeah, fucking slam pig. I almost had to tell a girl that. There was a lady that I used to work with, God bless her, and she was addicted to Alpha Marine bad boys, literally Marines, and had to be Marines. And every time she would go to South Carolina or, wherever they were stationed, to visit them, and it always ended in a nice hump and dump. And then she would be crying in the office the next day, and I finally was just like, has it occurred to you that maybe you're choosing the wrong men? Like, maybe these dudes are of high value and can easily, as they say, move through these hoes like Drano. And that was back when I thought you could help these ladies by talking to them. That was a mistake. And the was, it pushed me up against the fucking wall as she did not enjoy that. Not one bit. And, but thankfully that behavior's kind of changed. It was, like, horrific and driving me nuts, like the constant cycle of women bitching about men and then only hopping on Alpha Dick, and then bitching about men and then only hopping on Alpha Dick. And finally that's kind of changed, and now I think culturally we've just sort of accepted polygamy. Like, of harems, we're just like, it's kind of accepted culturally now that it's like, yeah, I just want to go to a club, get a little drunk, and have a, 6-foot dude with a 10-inch dick, rail me, and then we're done. Like, so at least the bitching has stopped. Now, it will continue. Give it like 5 years when the majority of Gen Y women are in their 30s, mid-30s, and, what did he say in Back to the Future? When this bitch gets to 88, you're going to see some serious shit. Yeah, but that's if we don't culturally collapse from COVID or our fucking economy going down the drain, or if the boog just happens. All of these things can call off what we got right now, but at least the shrieking sort of silenced for now a little bit. Yeah. Stephen Knight says, damn, I missed the Soul Reaver Legacy of Kain series. It sucks the developers fell out with the IP. Again, but they left it on a high note, and live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Clive Winston says, Liar, Liar with Jim Carrey is one of the best comedies, to be honest. I hate Jim Carrey, though. I really do. I'm not a fan of Jim Carrey. I don't know why everyone likes him. He's almost like, no, because what's his face? Who am I thinking of? Adam Sandler has a redeeming quality to him. It is not his humor, it's his dramas, believe it or not. So I liked Spanglish. There was another one that I already fucking forget, but there was a one, Reign Over Me was pretty good. But that's because Don Cheadle was carrying it. Like, he's not the main character. He kind of is. It's just watch it. They had good chemistry together. It was good. I liked it. It was a good movie. Orange Elite says, Far Cry Instincts was a watered-down port on Xbox. Instinct Evolution was a direct sequel, also Xbox, and Instinct Predator was a compilation of both games on the 360 remastered. Oh, I didn't know that they made that. Stephen Knight says, that's my favorite King of the Hill episode. Hell yeah. Fucking... I like that new meme they made of King of the Hill with, if those boys could read, they'd be very upset. Like, that's a very exploitable meme. I do like that. Kazlab says, you're rewatching Parks and Rec? How do you feel about those Joe Biden scenes? Yeah, well, I made a Facebook post about that. I was like, that's the only thing that did not age well. fuck? You know what I mean? Well, he at least seems less crazy in that, like, surprisingly. Willem Dafoe says, I'm from England, and it's not a popular dish. Well, it's... Oh, I guess shepherd's pie, it's like a chunk of meat in, like, a pie. Do you guys eat a lot of shepherd's pie, or is that just like a... what's the word? You know what I mean? Like a stereotype? Stephen Knight says, maybe they were aliens. I'm not sure. It's been so long since I've played Assassin's Creed. Oh, no, oh, if you're talking about Adam Eve, I've never heard of that one, so I'd have to look that up. Twin Phalanx says, so let's see. The way it works is a female 5 will go for a male 5. The male 5 has to go after a 4. No, the female 5 will go after a male 10. Depends on how much psychosis you've got going on. There's a lot of psychosis. It's been getting worse as time has been going on. The re is intensifying, I assure you. So, no. It's a matter of supply and demand. Jesus, I don't like to get this red pill because this really puts me in like a bad way. This puts me in a bad light, but like, you know, fuck it. It's a supply and demand issue. Men have higher levels of testosterone, therefore they demand sex more often. So since we are the ones who demand it more, the value of it increases. Now, this was buffered against, almost like capping the price of insulin in previous societies, but that was considered oppressive. So now we've just deregulated the entire market. I like it to George Bush's presidency. We're like, yeah, our economy had a massive bump because he just deregulated all these industries. Hey, what happened in 2008? Oh, a massive crash happened because there was no fucking regulation of the banking industry. So, same shit, different day. We're just waiting on the collapse. No. If you're a 5, then like, in fact, I've mostly tried to pick at 5s. And it's like the fact that like you spit game and then it rolls off their backs and they just go, no. And it's just like, come on, bitch, you a 5. You a 5, I'll suck your dick. No, I'm not gonna, because I don't have a dick to suck. But, yeah, it's insanely infuriating, and that's why I kind of just gave up with the dating market and just stopped giving a shit, because it's like, it's the equivalent of playing tag with that shitbag Billy who you grew up with. And you knew, everyone knows Billy. You'd be going to play tag, or let's say you're playing cops and robbers, right? So Billy's a robber, and you're a cop, you know, and Billy, you go, pew, pew, I got you, Billy. And then Billy goes, nuh-uh, because I've got bulletproof armor on. And then, you know, you're just like, all right, well, you know, I was using hollow point, or, you know, I was using full metal jackets, or, you know, whatever, or I shot you in the leg. That way you got to crawl on the ground now, Billy. And Billy's like, well, no, because my armor extends down to my legs. And then you're like, well, then I shot you in the foot, Billy, or I shot you in the head. And he's like, well, now I have the Black Panther suit. And you're like, fuck you, Billy, I shot you! Lay down! You know, it's just... It's like, and then you get tired of playing with Billy because he's a shitbag who doesn't play fair. It's not fucking fun. There's no sport in it. You know? It's like, you walk up, you spit game, they go, no. And it's like, but bitch, you have a terrible personality. You have a shit ton of student loan debt. You fat. And you kind of ugly. So, you know, what we got going on? And she goes, well, I can get Leonardo DiCaprio. And it's like, no, you can't, Billy. God damn it, I shot you. So, yeah. Like, consult the chart. It has been helpful. I generally just don't even give a fuck anymore. Clive Winston says, 1911s are a meme. Ooh, that's a spicy. You spicy, Clive. 1911s are good guns-ish. Yes, there are better design. That's a very classic, simple design, though. It definitely has held up. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, spoons rattling. Stephen Knight says, after I beat Red Dead 2 for the 3rd time, I'm gonna need a new main game to play. I'm thinking Dark Souls 3. Have you ever played it? No, because that sounds like one of those games that would make me angry because it's too close to Sekiro. Then Stephen Knight says, have you played Vampire? I have not. And then he says, if not, you should check it out. It's an action RPG with vampire powers. Dope story, too. But that makes me feel like I would rather just play Vampires the Masquerade, which unfortunately they're never going to make another good video game of that. Clive Winston says, bring back the sideburns, brother. I can't because people were calling me Elvis, and I can't do it anymore. Bongmancer says, did you ever play... Vampires the Masquerade PC game? Yes, and I actually did a couple of Let's Plays of that. You can check them out on my... No, you can't. I deleted them. I forgot. That is verboten. I might re-upload it onto my Patreon. If you go there and foot me a single fucking dollar, I'm going to be re-uploading some of my old Infidel content to that platform. It is actually getting warm in here. I will now remove my hoodie. And now the stream is starting to dick up. I wonder why. Maybe because I talked about red pill shit. Oh, fuck, I'm tired. Everything's dicked up. Oh, fuck. And now you can see my crusty ass shirt here, where I sweated all the fuck over it. Oh, running like a constipated wiener dog. That is right, homepage. Stephen Knight says, I'm excited for Vampire the Masquerade 2 as well. Can't wait for that to come out. Never played the first one on PC, but I always wanted to ever since I was like 12. Well, they got it on Steam. See, I'm hoping that they would make it you can customize both the look of your character. I'm hoping that you can customize your own fucking character. Kind of the fact that you had preset. I mean, I know they had to do it that way. Drufus the Doofus says, just join the stream. About time you shaved off those mutton chops. Well, thanks for your input. I will think about that the next time I decide to grow mutton chops. Steven Knight says, okay, I'm rolling a blunt and watching Parks and Rec tonight. I keep hearing it's like a fusion between It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and The Office. Okay, if you've never watched it before, season 1 is a little bit hard to get into. However, it's like The Office if The Office had sweet moments to it. And I think that's what makes it work. I remember there was an interview with Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and they said that basically the fact that by the end the cute little boys learn their lesson and have something cute and funny to say is what makes it work when those kids say, fuck you, fat ass! You know, otherwise it would just be mean. And honestly, I think that's why I don't like The Office. I've not seen much of it, but it seems like all of its memes are just 100% based on not liking the people that you work with, whereas Parks and Rec is not liking the people that you work with, but just kind of being freaked out by them and learning to deal with their strangeness. Like, everyone on that show has their own freakiness. Including fucking Ron Swanson. Son, those beans were a reward. It's going to be several seasons before you get to that, but if you get to that, the son, those beans were a reward moment. That's my life. Orky Bork says, is 2020 the result of what the powers that be wanted? Yes, of course. I don't know. It's entirely possible that this thing was not planned and that it just accidentally happened, but obviously it doesn't matter because they see this as an opportunity to test martial law. So, yep. Max is in. He says, hey, Tolstoy. Hey, look, it's a Tolstoy. What up, playa? Nothing much, Max. I see that you're going to be doing the Hunger Games. He's going to be marathoning the Hunger Games. I'm not a massive fan of that movie, but I am a massive fan of J-Law and Deadass. So go ahead and you do a shot for me, man. Just salute the ass. So when she gets into that cat suit, she's like, oh, it's my combat suit. It's all skin tight and shit. I'm like, yeah, girl, it is. I would kill all those fucking teenagers. Wait, how old is she supposed to be in that movie? Never mind. Let us not speak of it. Will and Foe's Fruitcake says, yeah, shepherd's pie is popular, but that's like minced meat with mashed potato on top. Probably more to it than that, but I can't cook for shit, so I don't know. All I know is that chips here mean fish over there, and chips to you all, or wait, crisps to you all are chips here. There you are. There's your cultural. Stephen Knight says 1911 or 5.7? Probably a 1911. 5.7 is so hipster. And if I do want something in 5.7, it's gotta be the FNP 90. Like, I don't have the money for one of those. PKG96 says every game is the same now. Yeah, it's all Fortnite clones. Clive Winston says 1911. Simple? Question mark. No. Classic? Yes. What are you smoking, my boy? You can field strip a 1911 in like 3 or 4 pieces. It's almost as simplistic as a Glock, if I'm not mistaken. Clive Winston then goes on to say, 5.7, gotta penetrate, alpha, bet, bot, boy, armor. Okay, that's okay, well then in that case, then we'll do fucking 5.7 for Clive. Because he is right, we do have to stack up for them alphabet boys. And fucking Clive, you seen Waco yet? Fucking Waco. Like, I wanted to make a post about it, but I have so many fans and friends and family who are, of the Blue Line variety, so I did not want to inflame. And, I'm not saying that you guys mishandled burning 80 women and children alive. I mean, I feel like there's a better way to do it, though. I'm just saying, like, is there any other... I want to know if there's any other industry where you can fuck up like that. It's like, it's all right. You get, like, administrative leave. Pretty sure if anywhere in my career I had killed one person, let alone 80 fucking people, they'd be like, yeah, that's bad. You might have to go to prison. Really? Well, don't I get like that paid vacation? I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm not trying to start shit. Fuck. Max, everything bumped. Max says, yo, I'm going to ask you a question I ask everyone I know. What you think about catheters? Would they make life much easier if we didn't have to take a bathroom break on the reg? No. Do you want what? I don't want to shove nothing up my pee hole. That does not sound convenient or pleasant. 8-Man then says, no, Tolstoy, Dark Souls 3 is nothing like Sekiro. Give it a chance. It's so good. We'll see. Is that for PlayStation 3 or 4? Orkybork then says, when you saved whatever videos you did you bother to also save the descriptions? Oh, man, no. Were they that important? Because no, I didn't. Ballmanster says, hell yeah, I will pay $1 to see some VTM Bloodlines gameplay, brah. All right. I think I might also have some unpublished footage of that I can probably do. It kind of got... I don't know. It's one of those games that I spun off on. I think it's because it's like, as much as I hate to admit this, it didn't hold my hand enough and didn't point me in the right direction. So it's just like, yeah, man, fucking go find the place where you're supposed to be. And I'm like, oh, okay. The Kurd123 says, favorite meme page. Back in the day, there used to be a meme page called Operators Operating Operationally. And it was just stupid-ass military memes, my favorite of which being a fucking... well, obviously now my favorite is Boog stuff, but we'll gonna keep that on the DL. Gonna keep my true colors on the inside. But Operators Operating Operationally used to have memes of, like... it was like a bunch of guys who were supposed to be like cleaning the latrines, and they decided to do it in the method of a SWAT-style breach. And they had dudes stacked up with mops like they were rifles, and instead of the flashbang grenade, they taped down the top of a Lysol container and tossed it in. And they just started going, go, 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 and they're like running in with mops to, clear the latrine or whatever. And that type of retardation is something that I am quite a fan of. Steven Knight says, Vampire the Masquerade 2 Bloodlines is coming out on Xbox Series X and PC. I'm not sure about PS5. I'm sure it will come out for PS5. My only other deal is, like, the company that controls it now is SJW as fuck, and, we'll see about that. Clive Winston says, ever played Dishonored? Seems like it might be up your alley. I did play halfway through the first one. One of those other games that just didn't stick and it spun out on me. You know what I mean? Sukabliet says, as a follower of the K, Cube, I treat all guns equally. I have no idea what the fuck. Clive Winston then says, K gives me a good chuckle. Okay, I think I know what we're talking about now. Steven Knight says, I didn't know Chris Pratt was in it, lol. I see him as Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy now. So that's interesting, is that when he lost all that weight to become that, they had to, like, figure out a way that would work into the show, and there's literally just a line where he's wandering into... They're walking into some building together, and his friend says, so all you did was quit drinking beer? And he's like, yeah, I just quit drinking beer. And then he's like, how much beer were you drinking? And he's like, I know, right? Probably too much. And I'm like, yeah, I know that feeling. Except for when I quit drinking, the weight stays with me. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, how do you take your tea coffee? Black. I would add creamer if we had it, but I'm just so stoic, and I'm not going to spend money on creamer, because I'm a penny pincher, as it were. The Kurd123 says, thoughts on Tiger King? God damn, that just keeps... It's unadulterated fucking insanity. I tried to finish it, but it didn't keep my interest as much. Meh. Steven Knight says, is Waco that good? Oh, it's fucking good. It's really fucking good. But god damn, it's a sad story. It's a very sad story. And unfortunately, it's also short. I mean, there was only a limited number of episodes they were going to be able to make out of that scenario. But good fucking show. Clive Winston says, I need to watch Waco. I'll probably start it tonight, actually. And then he says, Dark Souls 3 is on PS4. And then Willem Dafoe says it is on PS4. Well, if the stores ever open up and it shows, it's cheap, maybe I'll pick that fucking copy up. I'm not a big fan. My brother just got Witcher the Hunting, Witcher the Hunter. It's not like numbered. It's The Witcher the Hunting or some shit like that. The Dark Hunt, whatever the fuck. So he says I might want to play it. We'll see. We'll see. I might have to do that first. I'm gonna do Dark Fantasy. It's probably gonna be The Witcher. Let's be honest about that. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, oh wait, I'm rereading everything. Everyone's saying it's on PS4. PKG96 says Chris Pratt is every basic white guy. Yeah, I know, but that's what I fucking liked about him. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's like almost this generation's Harrison Ford. He's like relatable to this generation. Sounds a little bit weird, but a lot of times when they choose action movie heroes, they go over the fucking top and they just go for like the most muscular motherfucker that they can find. Well, not really, actually. Not when you consider cape shit. Okay, I don't know. Thesis revoked. I don't know what I'm going to say. But I just identify with him, you know, more than I do somebody like Vin Diesel. You know, they always go for like Vin Diesel, and it's just like, okay. I don't know. He worked well. He did well in the first, in Pitch Black. He was great in Pitch Black. I don't know how I feel about Vin Diesel. I know that he likes to play D&D. I'm sure as a person he's a cool dude. But he's a little bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, look, man, he was muscly, but he wasn't a good fucking actor. Ever. The only good thing that he was in was Terminator 2 because he was supposed to be a robot. Why the robot has an Austrian accent? I'll let it ride. I will let it slide, man. I do not care. But for reals, though, he can't act his way out of a paper bag. Nice guy. Like, you know, he's a cool dude. Big buff guy. He doesn't have both, he doesn't have the charisma. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there is someone who maxed out both their physical stats and their charisma stats, it's Terry Crews. Have you ever seen that meme? Him wearing the knight armor for some reason? That's a cool meme. Orky Bork says, in some cases, the descriptions were important, especially if you mentioned that you linked something in them. I've got only 120 of them. Christ, you really... Okay. Wait, you have 100... You probably have all the important ones. Okay, I guess... If you can send them to me in like a Google document, and I'll just attach them to the ones that I do have, because I definitely didn't save 120 vids. I might have saved about 50. Just the good ones. I mean, come on, a shit ton of those were literally just me bullshitting, you know, playing the mandolin and playing on my computer. They were not worth saving. Clive Winston says, Papa T, please watch Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia. Okay, I will. I also watched a psychedelic thing the other day that had, not only did it have Adam Scott from Parks and Rec, but it had... who plays Ron Swanson? I just watched a Hot Wings with him, the Hot Wings challenge with him, Nick Offerman, which is really cool. Nick Offerman is he's a really well actualized and defined dude. He is yin and yang, as Yukio Mishima would say. If you are the warrior, you must now become the poet. If you are the poet, you must now become the warrior. He's a trained thespian. He's a woodworker. He worked as a bouncer. He actually can play the saxophone. He can play. He's an actual ballet dancer. He's a trained fucking ballet dancer. And his beard has eagles that fly out of it. And he seems like an educated guy. So honestly, 10 out of 10. He's a true, you know, he's an actualized man in the sense of Maslow's ladder of needs. PKG96 says, Do Hung Lee looks like a leprechaun. I don't know who that is. I hope you're not saying I look like a leprechaun. Jeremy Peoples says, I have a question for you. Do you like riding on roller coasters? Kind of. I don't like being inverted, though. So, despite the fact that wooden roller coasters are way more rough, not as smooth a ride, I prefer the classic ones that just go up and down and side to side. I do not like being... I don't want to be inverted, my guy. The Curd says, thoughts on Cube 2 Hypercube? I saw it once on the Sci-Fi Channel when I was like 10 or 12 or like 11 or some shit like that. I did not know at the time that it was shit. I now know that it is shit. Kane the Warlock says, hopefully Bloodlines keeps humanity unlike Vampire Cuck Edition. Yeah, man, well, I highly doubt it. Do you really think that they would leave anything to us? Fucking, at this point, with me and the SJWs, I'm literally Kirk from, not Kirk, Patrick Stewart's character, Captain Picard from fucking First Contact, where he's just like, they invade entire worlds, and we fall back. They invade in Federation space, and we fall back. But I have drawn the line here, this far, no further, and I will make them pay for what they've done, except for I don't think I'm crazy for it. I completely fucking understand him in that movie. Oh, I kicked things. Orky Bork says, have you played Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS? No. No. I've only ever played couple 3DS games. Both Pokemon, baby. Jeremy People says, have you ever played Last of Us? If you have, are you excited for part 2? Really? Yes, I played The Last of Us, and I loved it with every fiber of my being. And then they essentially aborted its younger sister, and they used its remains in some horrible witchcraft that they are practicing. And I'm in the act of fetching my assault rifle so that I can return and finish the job. I don't know what creature is going to fucking be there when they come out of the fucking ground, but I'm going to have the fucking chainsaw on the side-by-side. I'm going to go groovy. In fact, there you go. The image of Neil Cuckman attempting to save his horrible abortion piece is the image of the remake of Evil Dead, where the girls, the demonically possessed girls, trapped underneath the, whatever you would call that, the hatch that leads to the cellar, and it won't come up, and the one girl is going to cut her own fucking arm off to stop the demonic spread, and this girl's going, don't do it, you little bitch, don't cut it off, don't cut it off! Like, that's what Neil Cuckman's doing. He's going, don't cut it off! Clive Winston says, ever see Making a Murderer on Netflix? I haven't. I heard a lot of stuff about it, but I don't really, it didn't, I think I watched like the trailer for it and it didn't stick. Stephen Knight says, The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt is amazing. I hate to say this, but The Witcher is better than Prey. Dang. Okay, well, fuck it. I'm going to see how it looks on his thing first, and, we'll see what he says about it. And then, because I'm going to be probably trying to do Red Dead until, actually, I'm going to finish up FF7. Then I'm going to do Red Dead 2. Hopefully at some point my financial situation will unfuck itself and I can stop crying myself to sleep late at night. Clive Winston says, Vin Diesel is awesome because he's a subpar actor. I love the cheesy B-movie vibes. Fair enough, but like I said then, he won't be the dude that I identify with. Look, man, I loved Jurassic World, okay? I saw that shit 3 fucking times in 3D. I brought a date, I brought my brother, I went by myself. There's some good shit. And then they injected some retardation and some feminism into the second one. There's a dinosaur that can read, and it says, ruh-oh, Raggy, and jumps through a window while a fireball falls. I'm not even making this shit the fuck up. Watch the second movie in the new trilogy. And then in the end, some girl, because it's supposed to be, I think, pro-immigration or something like that, presses a button that kills every single animal on Earth. And every human. And would probably be an extinction-level event because of her fifis. Because they feel like me. Kills Earth. What? Why? Fucking... Anyway. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, Terry Crews is amazing. Terry Crews is one of my favorite actors, actually. He's been through a lot, and actually, good example of how the SJW narrative, him and who's the other guy whose wife beat him? The fucking... Can't think of it. Johnny Depp. The perfect example of how Hollywood operate. And if you're not aware of this, look into it. Terry Crews was sexually harassed by a gay producer who told him, you're going to have sex with me. And I don't know if it's you, I don't know how that, in what way that would have gone. But basically he said, you're going to have sex with me or else you won't end up in the new Destructibles or Incredibles or whatever the fuck it was called. The Elites, the Sacrificeables. Jesus, tap dancing Christ. I don't remember the name, and my girlfriend drug me to the second one, which was actually pretty dope. Sacrificeables. God damn it. The Infragables. The Expendables. So they said, you can't be in Expendables 3 if you don't have sex with me. And he brought this out to Hollywood, and he was like, hey, man, I'm suing this dude. This is sexual harassment, man. Just because I'm a man. And all of Hollywood went, oh, no, a man can't be sexually harassed. So, sorry, Terry Crews, but fuck you, And that's how they do. So, just remember that shit. King the Warlock says, Fact Fiend did a video on why Terminator was the way he was. I've probably seen that. I am such an addict of Fact Fiend that I've watched every single one of their goddamn videos. So, and I really like, I'm not even a big fan of, of England in general. Like, I'm not a, what do they call that, a Europhile or a Anglophile? I'm not a fucking Anglophile, but I think, where does he say he's from? Sheffield? That Sheffield accent? That's my favorite accent. I don't know why. Orky Bork says, I'll message you with what I've got on Discord. Yeah, I'll check into that. I'll see if I can get that done at some point. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, ever watched the movie 43? I haven't. What about 43? Twin Phalanx says, Bruce Lee once said, it is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener on a battlefield. Yeah, But what I'm talking about was a quote from Yukio Mishima, who was an actual paramilitary terrorist who did some insane shit. But we will talk about that when I ever get the chance to do my Yukio Mishima video. But it was basically saying that was the only way to become actualized as a person. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not that I don't think that Bruce Lee was actualized, but I mean, I wouldn't exactly ask the dude to, like, I don't know, write a book or something like that. Whereas I feel as though I know that Yukio Mishima did write books, but also was a pugilist and also practiced some paramilitary style shit. The Kurd 123 says best Star Trek original series episode. Ooh. You know, I haven't actually watched a lot of. I would not know how to name them by. Anything where it's man. Any of the episodes that is heavy on Worf. Any of the episodes where Worf gets to fucking talk to other Klingons and these other Klingons doubt him, but it turns out he's badass. So fuck those other Klingons. They haters. That's pretty much my best stuff. I've literally was watching a video. I cracked my shit up. I was watching a video. It was just like, I don't know how I got onto it, but it was times that Worf was badass in The Next Generation. And there's a point where he's in the bar and Whoopi Goldberg as Guinan is like talking to him. And I don't know if she's coming on to him or just wondering why he's always drinking alone. She's like, you always drink alone. You could use some companionship. And he's just holding his cup and he's all like, well, I would need a Klingon woman to be my companion because Earth women are too fragile. And Guinan is like, not all of them. In fact, Michael Dorn did it so much like a pimp. You know what I mean? And he's just, not all of them. Some of them would actually consider you kind of tame. And he literally goes, impossible. And I'm just like, fucking Worf. Like, that needs the deal with it. To kind of come down and fucking land on his shit. That needs the smoke weed every day. Clive Winston says, honestly, the Have a Good Trip documentary was funny, but ultimately I think it was poorly done. Like, you can't just have big-name celebrities and expect it to be good. Fair enough, but I was just kind of watching it as something bubblegum to pass the time. I think I was going through alcohol withdrawal when I was watching it. The Kurd 123 says, fun things to do while tripping. Anything, depending on how much you've done, anything is going to get weird. Playing with animals. If you have a fucking animal there, it makes it really interesting. I saw a cat turn into a fucking giant big game cat, and then I snuzzed its face, and it turned into an engine. It was good. Good times. He must have, seen my, dilated eyes. Poor Stripey. Clive Winston says, also, the pseudo-information parts with Nick Offerman sucked pretty bad. Did they? I don't think there was... What in it do you think... What in it do you think was factually incorrect? Because I've studied pretty deep down the psychedelic rabbit hole, nowhere near as deep as you have, but, I'm a fucking grade 1 psychonaut or whatever the fuck, or class 3, I guess the lower the number, the better. Fuck if I know. Anyway, long story short, none of it seemed wrong. He didn't really, it was uninformative at best. I don't think it was pseudo-informative. I don't think it was wrong. I just think it was basic fucking information. The Kurd 123 says, ever read Neuromancer? No, but I am aware of the Sprawl trilogy. I read the synopsis of it. Kurd 123 says, are you a transhumanist? Is transhumanism inevitable? No. And my gun is inevitable. No, I will never put machines in my body to turn myself into a fucking meat puppet for the Antichrist. Never gonna fucking happen. Clive Winston says, anarcho-primitivist transhumanism is best ideology. Anarcho-primitivist is best ideology. You need to take that transhumanist shit out there. I will even accept the techno-savage meme, but why? I don't want to put it in me. Just have Wi-Fi in your wigwam, which, by the way, is the name of my hipster band. Trademark is wigwams with Wi-Fi. Stephen Knight says, have you seen Terry Crews' new movie on Netflix? It's called John Henry. I hope it is dope as fuck. I'll look that shit up. Yeah, I liked him in Everybody Hates Chris. I liked him in The Expendables. He's been in a bunch of other stuff. His comedy is good, too. I liked him in Idiocracy. Some other shit that I know that he's done. He just shows up in rando places, but I always liked his articles on working out. Did you say it was called? John Henry. Boop. Why does this guy have a... What do we... Oh, are they... Is this? I don't want to like get copyright strict, so I'm gonna take that down real low. I'm just gonna skip around until I see what I want to see. So the entire trailer is dark as fuck. Okay, some guy got a gun. I'm getting some John Wick vibes. Like John Wick meets Miami Vice a little bit. Maybe? Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's some John Wick vibes in there. Hey, it fucking has Ludacris in it. Random as shit, bruh. Okay, but what's up with the dude who has like the Robojaw? Is this about transhumanism again? Clive Winston says, I once saw a frog blink into the Shadow Realm. Oh, fuck. You're going to the Shadow Realm, Jimbo. I skipped around. The current 123 is the war of continuation of politics or politics the continuation of war? Bro, I'm not nearly high enough for that question. I'm going to be real with you. Stephen Knight says, CinemaSins is funny as fuck, by the way. I watch that shit like every day for a good laugh. I did before, but then they started like picking on even movies that I like, and it wasn't a matter of just the movies that I liked. It was like, I just kind of got tired of their shtick where it's like they're overly critical of everything, and half the time I want to go, guys, it's a movie, man. It's a fucking movie. It's not going to be perfect. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, no, it's literally just called Movie 43. It's a series of gross-out comedy scenes strung together, one of which is Hugh Jackman with testicles on his neck. Jeremy People says, favorite Spider-Man show and why? When you say show, do you mean movie? Because there was only... I mean, really, besides like that weird one where he went in like a dark universe, it was like late in the Fox Kids lineup. Well, then in that case, 1990s, The Adventures of Spider-Man. Oh, I know that there was one from the 70s, but we don't talk about that one unless you're memeing. The Kurdita 123 says, if a 99-pound girl eats a pound of nachos, is she 1% nacho? Yes. Clive Winston says, but like, imagine riding into battle on a war bear with cyborg arms. No, I just want the bear. You could possibly give it an exosuit so that it could hold the chain gun. Okay, I don't want to do that to the bear. Poor bear. Don't do that. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake says, strung together by a subplot involving... I think he means involving kids looking for the movie 43, and it causes the end of the world. Clive Winston says, yeah, it being uninformative was the main issue. Like, it would have been a great way to sneak in some harm reduction info, but I guess that'd be too based for Netflix. Yeah, fair enough. Well, no, they did a little bit, because some of the people that they interviewed were like, I cannot say that it's for you. You know what I mean? Some of the people were like, you might not need to do it. And there were, one of the doctors quoted said, yes, it can actually cause a psychotic break if you were predisposed to psychosis ahead of time, which is fucking true. And that's actually even true of marijuana. I didn't think it was terrible. I mean, look, it had Adam Scott in it, and it had and it was just some late night popcorn viewing. I would not... It wasn't made to inform people, I think, and to push the issue of legalization of psychedelics. I believe that it was for people who already feel positively about psychedelics. Just to have fun. If you want something that I think would actually help be more informative, although it's about weed, not psychedelics, and I forget, it's Pendleton Ward's new series on Netflix, and I've only watched the first episode, but I think that was enough for me. I forget what it's called. They're pushing it pretty hard. It's a cartoon, like a little wizard guy who, like, I don't know, they made a cartoon based around him having a podcast conversation with a doctor who was interested in pushing the narrative of medicinal marijuana. And then the Kurd 123 says, want to play Call of Duty Warzone? Don't have that game. Don't want to play it. Says, should I become a lawyer? I can't speak. I'm not a lawyer. And then he says, should I do ketamine? And Stephen Knight says, laughing my ass off, bot much? Oh, do you think it's a fucking bot? How would we know? Kurd 123. Oh, fuck. Yeah, all of his shit is really detached and has nothing to do with the conversation. Wait a minute. Holy shit. He might just be kind of, I don't know, he might just be kind of out there. Tim Taylor says, what's up? Moonlight Gallery or some shit. Or some shit, I guess. Fuck. God damn. And I wish I could get my fucking hair cut. Among other things. I'll stay with it. McCurd says I'm not a bot. That's exactly what a bot would say. Clive Winston says, Midnight Gospel is awesome. To be fair, though, I think, yeah, that's it, Midnight Gospel. To be fair, though, I was a big fan of that podcast way before the show was released. Oh, so it is a podcast, and then now they're just animating it. That's kind of cool. Twin Phalanx says, have you ever seen the show Happy? It's on Netflix, and it's pretty good. I have not. I have not seen that one. Relax my fucking legs a little bit. Criminy. Oof. I almost accidentally micro-napped. Probably should have, anyway. Smoke weed every day. It's the motherfucking DLG Snoop Dogg. So Stephen Knight chimes in with that, and he says, I liked the first episode of Midnight Gospel, but after the third episode, I fell off a little bit. Yeah, the first one I found a little tiresome. Like, it went on longer than it fucking needed to. I don't know. So, is every single episode about drugs, or do they cover other politics? Or, like, what's up with that? You know, like, I wasn't sure what to expect, and I just kind of put that on the back burner. I got so much Netflix shit that's on the fucking back burner. And then there's just shit that gets permanently removed from the back burner, which would include, like, JoJo's. Can't fucking finish it, not going to even fucking try. It's retarded. Woman Foes Fruitcake says, CinemaSins uses satire as a weak excuse for petty criticism. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much that. Like, with certain stuff, it's warranted. After a while, it gets annoying. I feel like Nostalgia Critic has struck a much better balance. As much as... Or actually, you know who else is a good reviewer but isn't a garbage person, unfortunately, like Doug Walker, if you ever get to see Decker Shadow, he's pretty legit. He's pretty fucking chill. I really liked his review of Joker. He's cool. He's chill. Orky Bork says, Otakon this year was canceled. No surprise. You plan on going next year? No. I think I've moved past it. There's something I'm way more interested in, and it's in this area, and it's, not this area. And when I say this area, I mean this fucking state. And it's some sort of like, weird mountain man festival, where they will, they hold a whole bunch of, they, show, like, different crafts, and they hold, like, they show you about how to, like, weave baskets, and, make your own fishing rods, and how to tan leather, and shit like that. And that's just way more akin to my fucking interests, you know what I mean? I'm more down with that now. I went back to Otakon because I thought my fucking friends would be there, and I hit them up while I was there, and I was like, guys, are you coming? And they're like, I don't know, man. DC is like 45 minutes away, and I'm like, I drove 6.5 hours. I'm going to need you to unfuck the situation. And they were just like, no. And I was like, okay, well, I guess that's kind of okay. Stephen Knight says, ever watch Black Mirror? Oh, yeah. Fucking I love Black Mirror. I can't remember the last episode that I watched, though. I think it was kind of a little bit better when it was being produced by the BBC. That second episode with the dude on the bicycle, there's only one other thing that actually stacks up against that as being the greatest Black Mirror, and it's the movie, can't say this fucking enough, that experimental movie they made, Bandersnatch. If you haven't fucking seen that, watch that. If you can watch that under the influence of drugs that'll make you terrified about it, do that. It will scar you for fucking life. Great fucking shit. I love that shit. Clive Winston then says, they cover spirituality, coping with death, etc. The original podcast, the Duncan Trussell Family Hour, is fantastic. You might enjoy it. Okay, well, if that's the case and you give it the endorsement, then I will fucking check that shit out. I'm almost kind of craving, like, it sounds weird, but I'm in the headspace where I wouldn't mind smoking a fatty and watching that shit. But I cannot do that fucking shit, because... might be getting drug tested soon. Stephen Knight says, y'all watch Chris Stuckman or Jeremy Johns movie reviews? No. Haven't heard of those guys. Mark74 Echo says, hey, I see you lost the beard. I second watching the show Happy. Give it a try. Okay, let's look this shit the fuck up. If two keys are turned, man. Because I watch any kind of trailer. I wish I could, like, put the trailer, like, do a reaction and put it, like, picture within picture, but that would literally cause YouTube to smoke. In fact, the video feed froze up for several fucking seconds. Now it's fucking up even more. This is life. This is how this bullshit fucking works. Come on, you piece of dog shit. What are you doing? Yeah, I'm still fucking streaming. I mean, it's like encoding overloaded, but it says that every fucking 6 seconds. Like, what the fuck? I don't know when it's gonna correct. I don't even know if you can even hear me anymore. So let's take a look at Happy. Oh! This. I have seen the trailer for this. Okay. Alright. Maybe after Parks and Rec is done and I need something else. Although some people recommended Community instead of Parks and Rec. I might do fucking Community instead. Is that on Netflix? It's probably on Hulu. I don't give a shit about Hulu. Why is the shit jamming up now, an hour and 45 minutes in? Fuck, and Willem Dafoe says, the Tolstoy radio show has begun. Yeah, well, you know what they say, I got a face for radio. What the fuck? You piece of shit! Piece of fucking dog shit. Joe Biden totally didn't rape that chick. He totally doesn't sniff kids. I endorse Joe Biden. Joe Biden, good. Hillary Clinton, good. Orange man, bad. I'm not sure if this is gonna work. I'm just trying. I'm just gonna see if it works. Fucking hell, mate. Oh my goddamn shit. What the fuck? Jesus. I'm so tired of this fucking website. I swear to God, I'm going to BitChute tomorrow. I don't give a fuck about this place no more. Like, their shitty ass bandwidth. This ain't fucking me. Encoding overloaded. Considering turning down the video settings. Bro, I can't turn down these video settings any more than we've already fucking turned them down, my guy. Oh, fuck. Kane the Warlock says, they cover other topics like the second episode, I think was more religious if I remember. Then Tim Taylor says, I will never forget Get Over Doug Walker bringing a katana to protect that chick, laughing my ass off. You're gonna have to, you should, like, show me. You're gonna have to, like, link that or I mean, what are we talking about? Oh my God, it's still jamming up? How bad is this shit? Now I gotta look on my phone and see if the shit's really that dicked up. God damn it. This fucking... Holy shit. The fucking thumbnail that they chose for me is me yawning and I look like an absolute fucking retard. Oh my God, thanks, you dicks. I'm so tired of this fucking website. I swear to God, I'm going to BitChute tomorrow. Okay, so... I'm not moving, but you can fucking hear me. Oh, my dear sweet baby Jesus. Why? All right. I'm not sure that this is going to get better. I'm going to marathon through these comments real quick. And we're at the 2-hour mark, so I guess it wouldn't kill us just to find a happy place to land. Okay, Stephen Knight says, just finished Black Mirror and Bandersnatch. I watched it 3 times to see if the ending would change, lol. So I got a secret ending on that I could never find again, where you are... given the chance to type in a sequence of numbers that you had to remember from earlier in the movie. I did remember the numbers. My fingers accidentally slipped and I typed in the wrong sequence and there is no go back button. You fucking assholes cheated me out of the secret fucking ending and I'm still pissed off. Other than that, it's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. Kane the Warlock says, who are you? Me, Netflix. Okay. Drufus the Doofus says, speaking of Nostalgia Critic, did you ever watch the review of Pink Floyd's The Wall? Generally one of the worst things he's ever put out. Really? I can't imagine him reviewing The Wall. Doesn't seem like his ilk. Tim Taylor says, Happy is pretty Gucci. Is it? Is it now? Stephen Knight says, I was high as fuck watching Bandersnatch, and when the dude jumped off the balcony tripping on acid, I laughed my ass. Oh, come on, man. You laughed at that shit? I don't know. I thought that was actually, by the way, a good depiction of like novel